Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout Live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thank you to everyone for listening live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, watching on YouTube or listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. To Benny, I think maybe sometimes that YouTube video could get paused. So you might just want to look at, there we go. Just press play. We're all good. To those listening on the audio stream, you missed my little intro there, but we appreciate you. Tommy, Jasmine, Matt with you here. Benny, the intern, on the other side of the camera. Edmonton Sports Talk, proudly presented by Play Alberta. Tommy with the Play Alberta hat.
Yep.
I got the hoodie on. PA, proudly on board with us. We're excited about that. How's everyone feeling today? How's everyone doing?
Fine. Everything's fine.
You don't sound fine.
I was about to say, that one doesn't. That one sounds like I'm fine, but I'm not.
No.
Right?
Whatever.
Like, how are things? I'm fine.
No, obviously last night, the fans, myself, all frustrated, went to bed pretty, angry, but I woke up. Personally, I'm calm. It's all good. Calm down, everybody.
I'd say you're calm to quite calm right now.
What?
Calm to quite calm.
Yeah,
That range.
it's all good. How do you feel?
I understand why there's concern from some Oiler faithful.
Yeah.
I do. I understand that. I understand why some people won't sit there and look at a loss where the Oilers lose 6-3 now, empty netter in there, and be like Dusty, like, I am confident that this team is going to go sweep the next 4 games. I understand why some Oiler fans would not be that way. I also don't understand, though, why there's some then that go full panic and start Olivier Rodrigue. The series is over.
Yeah, that one was wild.
Those ones are too far from me.
Like,
There is the ability for me, I think, for Oiler fan to sit there right now and be like, you want to know something? Yes, the Oilers were great for 40 minutes, but they still lost that hockey game. And the Dallas Stars have a firepower, and when they get going, they can score goals, and they can score goals quick. We saw it in Game 7 against the Avs in that third period. They come out, and all of a sudden it was 3-2 at one point. You're like, well, they tied it up at 2, but throughout that period, they took over against a very good Avalanche team. It only takes the Stars 20 minutes to go win hockey games in one way. I know that, like, the one disagreement I'll have on everything Dusty said was the PK is not going to stay at 25%. Well, in a series it could.
That's scary.
It's very hard.
I know what you mean.
In a series, it could. When you're talking about 4 to 7 games a series, you could have we saw it with the Oilers against the Kings a couple years ago. They were rolling at like a ridiculous percent for the power play.
Weren't they like 50%?
But that's it's so. Even if it doesn't stay at 25, like let's say it gets to 50%, that's not good.
No,
that's not winning you a series. Probably still.
It did in round 1.
Did in round one.
It did in round 1.
But it's not the Dallas Stars.
That's true.
So that's where, like, for me, I understand why there's going to be some people upset today. I understand why some people are going to sit here and not be as overly confident about a gentleman's sweep as of today. But I also don't get the full-on, oh my God, Rodrigue needs to start. The series is over. Let's start determining what's the offseason.
Nalak.
That's so Nalak.
Nalak?
Yes, you said
Jasmine
it properly.
taught me a
I never
term
heard
today.
of that one.
When I came in this morning, I was just telling Tommy that there's a word in Punjabi that's called nalak, and there's just a lot of nalak takes. And nalak,
I agree.
It's a bit of like it's uneducated takes. Like if you know this team, first of all, it was an away game. You're in Dallas. I understand. You thought there was going to be a win all the way. It's the Western Conference Finals. Things happen. Okay, yes, the PK is terrible. But everything else was pretty incredible. Why is everybody going after Stu? I'm sorry.
Oh, I could tell you why.
Please. Like he had one.
And I'll have a different reason of you.
Sure.
Well, it was just a rhetorical, like, I can tell you why. Listen, that 4th goal was dog crap. Hot dog crap. I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to describe it. We ran the audio post game, and the way he described that play from his point of view, it's good that we heard him talk about it, but I'm like, that sounds like a pile of BS, Stu. And I said, I admire Stu. I get along great with him. I've known him since day one when he got drafted by the team. But I was like, that's not a good answer. I don't like that one. But I get it. I understand what he's doing. He's kind of saving, or not saving face, but he's putting up a front. So, in my opinion. Anyway, that game reminded me, the way they lost it, of Game 5 against the Golden Knights in the second round, where it was a quick collapse.
Oh, from a couple years ago.
From a couple years ago. There was Game 5. It didn't kill the series, but they went and lost Game 6 here in Edmonton. Everything was good. They were up 2-1 in that game against Vegas, and then they took 2 penalties. One was on Broberg. It was a bad call for holding, and then the other on the PK was Janmark, and that one was a high sticky penalty, I believe. And then it was like boom, boom, boom. Vegas took over the game. That was it. Broke the hearts of the Oilers and the will, let's call it. The way it went down last night, the 3 goals in 5:26 in the third period, the penalties, it just gave me a little bit of deja vu to that. And I wanted to say it on the postgame show last night, but I mean, we had a spicy postgame show. I didn't get a chance to get in there, so I'm glad I got to mention it. Now, the difference is we're 2 years removed from that Game 5, and that happened in Game 5. This is Game 1 versus Dallas, where you absolutely crushed the Stars for 40 minutes, and you have a recipe for success. You know it. It's proven. You know where you effed up. Don't do it again, because the Kane high sticky penalty, that, for those that didn't get another good look at it and don't think that was a good call, his stick hits the face of Matt Duchene. And guys now are so ingrained in their minds to kick their head up anytime a puck or a stick hits their face. And what is the natural instinct from the ref? Hand goes up, right? There might be a second where they kind of contemplate it, but that's a penalty.
Surprised Sportsnet didn't have that replay.
I know, but the best view was that corner cam. You know how they have that little slit in the boards? And that has the best angle of it. And then the Corey Perry penalty, like in front of the net, you can't cross-check a guy in the face, and you're doing it 200 feet from your own net. Like, don't do that. That's a future Hall of Famer who should know better. I know he plays on the edge, but those were bad penalties from veteran guys, and the penalty kill sucks. Like, I'm not gonna say anything else other than it sucks. It needs to figure its what out. But I think they can recover from this, seriously.
With the Duchene high sticking, obviously he sold it, right? And
of course,
that's fine. You got to do what you got to do. I really hope the refs go back and really watch Duchene now in the next game.
For what reason?
But he didn't do anything wrong.
What did he do wrong?
Was there a high stick though?
100%. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I know, but I get it.
It hit him. It came up around from
the whole selling the penalty.
There was contact to the face. Did it cause bleeding? No.
He didn't make the refs look bad.
No,
because it was a call. Like, if there was no penalty there and he sold that, that's then a penalty. But the stick's right on.
It's right on his chin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was saying like it made contact with the face. That is a high stick by the book. Did it hurt him? No. Did he sell it? 100%. Still a penalty.
Yes.
You can't do that. That's careless use of your stick.
Oilers with the high sticks.
Right. So that's. Don't do that. Don't take penalties, and the PK sucks. Like, Mark Stewart's going to have to go to work on the PK, and they're going to have to figure out the tendencies. Watch the video. Don't screen your goalie, maybe. Don't stack 3 of your own guys and then allow their guy to sit in front of your goalie. I don't know. Stu did say after the game, he's like, I need to look around quicker and battle through. Yeah, you're right. But do it next time, please. But also, don't have 3 of your own guys right in front of your goalie's eyes. Plus Mason Marchment. I digress.
What are your thoughts on Stu?
Well, where some of the frustration I can see comes from towards Stu, and is like, you look at his playoffs, he's got an 800, 821, 833, 815 save percentage in his 4 losses, or he has a shutout. There's no in between.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a frustration of, okay, you saw 28 shots. Why can't your save percentage be 905? Why can't your... And I understand... And now I know the flip side is, well, what goals are... Like, I know you and Dusty talked about in the postgame show yesterday. What goals are Stu's fault? There is that to it, too. So, like, I understand where all sides are coming from. But the sides that are upset with Skinner, part of that is, okay, this guy either lets in a lot of goals or has shutouts. Could there not be an in-between there? Like,
in-between would be
get
nice.
Shutouts, but can you also make a couple of extra saves and not give up 5 goals? And maybe give up 3. And maybe this team is like that. That's where the other side from Skinner is that, okay, like it's either a lot of goals or nothing.
That's his MO this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be. Even if like I'm just trying to see. Well, that's kind of his MO.
Okay, Maddie, I have a question because like,
and that's where just some of those older fans would come from.
Yeah.
So what's your question?
Those that point to the save percentage, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to defend an 825 save percentage, anything less than 900. That's not good. We know there's a standard, but it feels like, am I wrong in saying that it feels like there are some who just look at the number, but don't look at how we got to the 825?
Yes.
And they just neglect that, and all they want to do is attack the average, but not evaluate and unpack why he couldn't save those. That's what I'm wondering, because it just feels like I'll get texts on the post-game show, even on the pre-game show, and it'll just be like, Tommy, why do you defend him? 825, 873, this, that. And I'm like, yeah, I will always acknowledge those are terrible save percentages, and on average, he needs to be better. But it's like we completely disregard how he got to that crappy save percentage.
That's right.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Pickard's numbers. And a lot of, you need Pickard.
Yeah.
And Pickard's
we
played great.
saw a lot of that last night.
But it's, okay, so I got to take out the first game of LA because he only played 930.
Yeah, that game was
His
out
save
of hand.
percentage of these playoffs, which is 6 straight victories. 857, 927, 955, 852, 882, 875.
Yeah.
So 927 is a really good save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So is 1,000.
But he's not at 905. He's not at 910 either. He's giving you up 800 save percentages, or he's having the 950 save percentage too, which is similar to a Stuart Skinner. The difference is he's getting the victories. And so like there is that, the nuance to all of this is, okay, I guess, to a degree at times Pickard has made the saves, but he's also given up the goals, just like Skinner has. So there is that whole nuance where, okay, you got to then go sit there and evaluate these goals, and you can't just look at the number, but it is easy at times to just go look at the number.
Yeah.
Because, like if I put this up with Pickard, it's not like, look, Pickard's 2 best games are worse than Skinner's 2 best games because they weren't shutouts.
Correct.
Now, his 4 worst games weren't, or were better than Skinner's, but not by a great much. Again, we're not talking like he was in the 900s and winning those hockey games. So it is a very nuanced thing, but Skinner is a bit of a lightning rod at this moment for this team that it's easy to, and it's also, I remember JMO used to say this with backup goalie and the backup quarterback. They're like 2 most favorite players in a city, because you're always sharing, you're always upset with those positions in a way if you lose a hockey game or a football game, and that's here. The Oilers lose. Okay, you give up 5 goals. It's easy to then go to the goal and just immediately make a save.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break down those goals. And which ones else should it be saved? If you're saying the fourth one
by
of the other 4, because it's the empty netter. Of the other 4, where are we putting it specifically as, if you're ranking the culprits of the goal? Skinner's number 1, and I don't know if there's many of them that you're putting Skinner number 1.
Yeah, the laser from Granlund. I said to Dusty, we were watching that, I'm like, that was a great shot, but like he's midway from the bottom of the goal line to the top. He was at the midway point of the crease. I'm like, maybe he could have been out like a half foot further, but Granlund did that to not that Hellebuck had a great playoffs, but Granlund just lasered one a few nights ago that way against Winnipeg. Again, that point shot, it was the Heiskanen goal. You have 4 guys stacked in front of you. The Duchesne we already went over. The second Seguin one.
Yeah.
Like either amazing hand-eye or incredible luck. But like that's a backhand shot that's going wide and Seguin gets his stick on. I'm going to give him credit, say he batted that one in, which is amazing. Because those guys work on stuff like that and they have great hand-eye. And then the breakaway goal, that's Leon Draisaitl's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only one I could also sit there and go, that's where you need your goalie to step up and make a save, to bail out.
I would love
giveaway.
that.
That would be the only other one I could point to and be like, that's where it's like, hey, it's not, terrible giveaway by Leon, but at the same time, that's where you need your goalie to step up in a moment. That'd be the only other one.
He did that against the Golden Knights in games 4 and 5.
Absolutely did.
And the other thing too, to the Pickard.
Actually, quick, he did that in game 4 when He was great. I stand by. He screwed up in the end. But in the second and third period, Skinner was really good in that game three.
Game three?
Game
Yeah.
3 against the Golden Knights.
Right.
He made some incredible saves in that game.
And we overlooked that, so that is a good point. What I would say to the pro Pickard crowd, and is in Pickard's favor, is that he has done a better job than Skinner these playoffs making the timely save. I think. Jazzy.
Well, what about Ottinger? Like, I don't see anybody scrutinizing him.
He gave up 3 goals and he got the victory.
Yeah.
Plus, you're in Edmonton. No one cares about Ottinger.
Yeah, fair enough. But they were PKs. They're on the PK.
What part?
I'm just saying that, like, we had Sagan score, okay, and 5-on-5 hockey's pretty good with the Oilers.
It was good last night. Really good last
Yeah.
night, yeah.
But then,
All right, I guess with just Ottinger, like, one, it's like, if you're going to give up goals to Connor and Leon, you know, those are ones you could. I think a lot of people will just accept that's Connor and Leon. Like, you're not going
That
to blame
first
the
goal
goalie
was
too much.
brilliant.
Absolutely. And again, it's 3 goals allowed, and you got the victory. And then he didn't allow a goal in the third period.
yeah.
That's the key.
It was like a complete opposite, hey? How the Oilers just don't have the best first and second, and then the third is their I think they're plus 10. And then
Yeah,
you see this.
so I have to look at it.
Yeah, you
but
see this flip. So that was kind of strange.
But the Oilers said, here's the third period by taking penalties and not killing anything or that. It's just, to me, it was a total, like, all the world, a credit in the world goes to Dallas for taking advantage, but the Oilers basically shot themselves in the foot.
Exactly. It was Oilers versus Oilers for sure.
By the way, this is the EST Hangout headlines brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. From premier golf facilities to the corporate branded products, the Ranch, your all-in-one tournament host, proud host over 180 tournaments each year, including the EST Golf Classic presented by Play Alberta. They're here to help you execute all your tournament ideas. Book your tournament today. Visit theranchgolf.com. Okay, so I do have then 2 more things I will for sure want to get to here. One is, I will say, the other thing too is, though, the Stars are going to improve, I think, a little bit in 5-on-5. Like, we can't sit there and say that the Stars aren't going to have things to work on from those first 40 minutes. But it's still, the Oilers, they're the road team. And the main common phrase is the series isn't over until home team loses or the series ends in 7. But if the Oilers go and snag game 2, they did their job. It'd be nice to come back 2-0. It'd be wonderful to come back 2-0. But really, you're looking for the split. And if you go get that victory on Friday, you won. You did what you needed to do on the road. And now you got to come back for home, take care of business. You're up 3-1. Like, they're still in a pretty good spot. And there's nothing that the Oilers are going to look at from yesterday's game and be like, we're done.
No.
Like, they're going to feel very
Not at all.
confident themselves. And that's the good thing. That's why they're in a good spot. Even if they're down 2-0, I still, like, it's one of those, they got to go lose at home. This is why I like starting a series on the road. You actually, to me, you're afforded this. The Stars still have pressure tomorrow. They don't want to go down. They don't want to lose home ice advantage in this series. They need that one. A little bit more than the Oilers, even in my mind still.
You know, with this Oilers team, just being how they are, and it's never doing it the easy way. And it was CJ in Chicago text me last night. She said, why can't we have nice things? And I'm like, yes, I know. But there was a good response. So I said that on the air once. And someone's like, what do you mean, why can't you guys have nice things? You guys have Connor and Leon. And that was a good point, but they just don't do things the easy way. And because of that, and because of how eccentric it can be and wild it can be with this Oilers team, and has been this postseason, like any trend, I'm thinking if this goes to 7, Cody Ceci could have an awful game because the Oilers will play that well, and they could buck the trend of Pete DeBoer being perfect in game 7. Like, that's how ridiculous it can be with these Edmonton Oilers. We saw it last year with them going 2-9-1 in the first 13, firing Jay Woodcroft, going on a 16-game win. Like, they do the craziest stuff.
They came back down 3-0 in a series.
Yeah,
like, when you think about it,
out.
they forced the game 7. I don't know how many teams actually just forced the game 7. Now, a lot of teams have won it, but not a lot of teams that even just go force that game 7.
They do ridiculous stuff.
Would you argue that maybe there was a little bit of bad luck there, considering that Dallas did have a power play in the third period off the bat? They got the momentum
Which penalty
going.
was that?
That was the hooking penalty by Brett Kulak. That happened late in the second.
Yeah.
People were saying that Mason Marchment grabbed his stick? You know what? The Oilers do that too. Connor and Leon do that all the time, and they get hooking calls. So it's just gamesmanship. You got to roll with it.
Marchment was all over Nurse, And I really appreciate it. And tell me if this is correct, okay? Because I thought this was smart that Nurse kept his composure. He didn't buy into it, and he kept focused on the game.
Which is rare for him.
Exactly. And then Kane did the same thing when he went into the corner. Who was it? He went into the corner as well, and he could have fought back, but he was getting manhandled, and he just kept his composure and kept playing.
It's probably a good thing. Good pick up on that one too, Jesse.
I'll be interested to watch Evander Kane, just the shot to the wrist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting talk with TD, and
then
there'll be a concern on that one, I will say.
Yeah.
Hyman
Let's see that next game.
took one off the top of the knee too.
Oh, right.
Those do not feel nice.
I'll bring up a question that was thrown out on 3 questions too many. Benny, you could jump in too on this. Would you rush back Matthias Ekholm?
No.
No, not after what we saw yesterday.
No,
Good question.
he's not close. I know Dusty was throwing a hypothetical out there on the morning show saying like, even if he was 78% or 81%, he's not. He's trying to rush back. They would love to have him back, but the Matthias Ekholm, if he gets back in, when he gets back in, will likely be... I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but this injury is not a good injury. And if he can be 75% of what we expect and see from Matthias Ekholm game to game when he's healthy, I think that would be a huge win. And I think I don't know if he's at that point from everything I've been told.
Yeah, the one reason I wouldn't rush him back too, I don't even care the percents of that, is the last time he came back, he got hurt again. And if the Oilers, you don't want to have Matthias Ekholm come out and get hurt again.
Yeah.
And you also then have to play the Dallas Stars down to 5 defensemen.
Right.
That would have to be in your minds if the Edmonton Oilers. If we rush this guy back, we just saw it a couple of weeks ago. He'd get hurt again, and we're down to 5 defensemen.
And you're talking about
just
next
because
year
we're rushing when our defense
parts of the
isn't
season.
terrible right now. If I'm saying we, if I'm Chris Knobloch or
Thank God.
that's but like if I'm one of those guys, that's where it would be like, okay, they're fine, like they're playing well.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to rush them, because if we do, that makes it tougher for our defensive core. That's what I wonder if those conversations happening.
Of course, they have to happen. I'll just say it because I put out that tweet like last week or whatever when I said I'm told he's weeks away at best. In that conversation.
It's actually longer than last week, I think.
I
think it was late the week before.
That might have been it. So in that conversation, I was told he shouldn't even come back this season. But knowing him and his determination, he's going to push to do everything in his power to be back. And then the way it ended, the conversation was he is still weeks away at best. And that's a week and a half ago or whatever. So he's been ruled out for games 1 and 2. The fact that he's skating with the team, I'm encouraged by it, but I'm also apprehensive. Like, is this posturing, or is this like, hey, we're going to give it a shot here? And then it was in Speck's article at the one practice before they flew out. He was out there with the main group, and Speck mentioned that he didn't say which doctor, but whoever from the medical team, not just the athletic therapist, from the medical team, the doctors, was out there on the bench watching him. You don't see that. That never happens at a practice. That's something to take note of and be like, ugh, I don't know. Anyway, that's my observation.
Why would they go on the road trip then? Is this the posturing then that you're saying?
I think it's posturing. I think
so
being with
posturing
the
was
group.
saying like
It's
trying to send a message to the Stars. He could come back.
oh
Sure.
Is that the
that's
posturing?
Yeah.
Or
Remember Demko last year would skate,
Yeah,
and
true.
he was traveling with the Canucks, and
Yes, I
he
do.
could play in 7. all the Canucks guys,
yeah.
all my friends with the Canucks media are like, this guy's done. Like there's no way he's playing. And then he would skate, and he looked good this morning at practice. There was no hope in hell of Demko playing.
that's a good point.
And it feels like there's some of that in this. That's why I'm a little bit apprehensive. Don't get me wrong. From an Oilers point of view, Matthias Ekholm is a beast. And I have nothing but time and respect for that guy. And in a perfect world, he's back in the lineup. He's as healthy as can be. But from everything I told, like, this guy's going to need some more time.
But this decor got you 8 of 9 wins.
Yeah, and you had the lead. You had a 2-goal lead in the third period.
That's what I'm saying. Like one game, I don't think has to change your whole makeup of your team, especially if you're trying to rush that good of a defenseman that's that banged up. There's no point. Like this team's got you 8 wins of 9 games before last night. Like you stick with that decor.
Yeah.
I know the penalty kill sucks right now, but
it does. You know what? You're 22 years old. You're wise beyond your years.
Thank you. I try.
You've been listening to a lot of Sean Bell, and it's sinking in.
Yeah.
It's good.
And he was drinking Coke apparently.
Pictures of it.
Yeah, pictures of Coke.
You guys are very responsible.
Well, yeah,
Early
because
morning.
Yeah.
we were all like we were all trying to figure out where to watch the game, and I was like, well, I know a place.
Absolutely.
And then everyone was like coming from work and stuff, and so it was all like we all had to show up at our own different times. Like I got stuck in traffic. Thankfully, like my friends were there before me.
Yeah.
And they claimed my table, but so everyone drove themselves there, like which is so unusual. We're all really good with carpooling, and everyone had their own vehicle there. So waitress brought a pitcher of Diet Coke and regular Coke.
You guys were. It was adorable.
That is very wholesome.
And
Like not even like one drink.
No.
even,
I didn't even have one last night.
I'm a guy that's either all the way in or not in at all.
Okay.
Okay,
No.
fair. Good.
No.
Good for you.
Did your crew have a good time?
Oh, it was great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I know the
That's not
end
the
result
result.
wasn't, but
Yeah.
what was I going to say about Benny there? And then Cal in the park. I was talking to Cal, and he's like, "You guys need to build up young listeners." I'm like, "There's 6 of them right there." And Benny. Yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, okay."
To your point about the, maybe taking Ekholm for a bluff. What about like the chemistry and just being the brotherhood and be part of whatever they're experiencing? I think this is also a big deal to be part of it.
Yep.
If I was injured and you guys were gone to Winnipeg, for the CFL championship, I would be like, I'm
Grey
still
Cup.
coming. Grey Cup.
That is the Grey Cup.
I know. I was waiting to be corrected.
Coupe de Grey.
I would be
The longest championship in professional sports,
Yes.
at the very least in North America, I would
to
think.
throw a Grey Cup or a CFL take in
Or
there,
at least
okay?
I
the
appreciate
big
that.
sports.
Thank you.
How long's the Memorial Cup been awarded?
It's this weekend, isn't it?
I would think so.
Anyway,
I just am
did you
trying to
want-
because we're at 100 and some Grey Cups.
My
How many
leg was
Memorial
still
Cups?
injured, I'd be coming. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Well, no, if I was in because I'm in physio and rehab right now. But yeah, I'd still be there.
There is.
Right?
Yeah, you want to be part of the group.
Yeah, I want to be part of
and
the
then
experience.
in the off chance he is back, you need him up to speed, being in meetings and
Yeah, and
knowing
and
the strategy.
leadership too,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
He's like your best defenseman. Go out there and give some pep talks,
Yep.
right?
I think Grey Cup still might be the longest. The Memorial Cup first was awarded in 1919.
Yeah, well, Grey Cup is that like Grey Cup 110 or something like that.
Oh no, isn't it long? Like,
Is it past that?
wasn't it like Grey Cup like 107 here? Oh no, you're right. I thought I got the Edmonton one wrong. I thought the Edmonton one was a little
2012 was
closer.
the 100th.
Yeah. So 2025 Grey Cup is going to be the 112th Grey Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Rip City. So Tommy, you saying Ekholm's playing tomorrow?
What did Rip City Step say?
He's saying that you're saying that Ekholm's plays tomorrow.
Oh, stop it. Oh, Step. He was the first one there yesterday at BP. Good to see him. Actually, good. Always a good turnout. Good to see the nasties show up. They show up.
Yeah, I had a little bit of FOMO. But I'm planning on coming Friday finally. Because it's Friday.
40.
Friday.
Friday.
Yay.
It's supposed to actually be nice on a Friday, but the weather forecast turned a little bit.
Okay.
Sunny in the morning, early in the afternoon, then a mix of sun and cloud, 30% chance of showers, risk of thunderstorm in the afternoon. Nah, it's not too bad.
Okay, one quick aside here on the weather. Like, it's been raining for days.
It's been great.
Okay,
nice.
and we need this. That's good. Let's
green.
get it lush. It's gonna be green. You're
Yeah.
right. When it warms up, cool. Why do we stop wildfires? What the hell's going on here?
Well, is the rain happening in other parts of the province?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And the wind.
That's why, like we say we need rain, but it's often Edmonton doesn't need rain.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a huge province. So.
Saskatchewan, BC, rural areas.
Yeah,
need
let's
rain.
get some rain over
That's
there.
where the rain is needed because then, like, yeah, Edmonton could be dry. I'll take Edmonton being dry completely if
Yeah.
it means everyone else is lush because then the risk of wildfire
Yeah.
decreases for them.
Yeah.
It's still warm. You know, it's a little crisp, but it's still warm.
No, it's cold. My furnace turned on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I threw my fireplace on yesterday,
You have a fireplace?
like a little electric.
Oh, the
one.
electric one. Yeah, that's right.
It's just one of those. I don't mind these every so often.
No, for sure.
Same.
I no, Monday,
Take
Tuesday,
advantage of
two's
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Exactly.
start of the week, whatever. I'm already going
gets
back to
better.
work.
Exactly.
I'm not like we got a week. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, I guess. This
like
week. Whatever.
Slow build.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want nice weather.
I don't want to wear a shirt or socks.
Yeah, it's been a
What?
while since I've worn it.
I just want to wear shorts.
I just don't want. I want my socks. on.
Frolic
Here?
everywhere.
This is the EST Hangout, by the way, presented by Sentinel Storage. Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider May savings in full bloom. It ends at the end of the month. 50% off 12 weeks on all units, or you can get 75% off 8 weeks on 5x5 units, or 4 weeks free on selected units. Find a convenient location nearest you. Sentinel.ca. Tommy, Jasmine, Benny, and Matt with you here on the Hangout.
The Mos Pit was still bumping.
No,
they were
it
all
wasn't.
rained on.
It was not bumping.
Well,
He's got the view of it.
It was not
oh, let's
bumping.
see. Because on TV, it still looked like a lot of people.
Yeah, this was like 10 minutes to game time.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
But the game was
quiet.
early. People are working. All those things.
Sure,
too.
but it wasn't bumping. I'll just tell you right
Well,
now. It was not bumping
when
at
they
the Mos
showed the
Pit.
screen, I was like, wow, I was quite
Angles,
surprised.
baby.
Was it low angle?
Yeah, it was.
It's low. They bring everyone together. There wasn't a lot of people there.
They're all
I'll tell you that right
soggy.
now.
Yeah.
They're probably in the party tent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go to that place.
Our
though.
neighbor, DJ Bose, and I think Patrick is the other one, work the party tent. And then, of course, DJ Johnny Infamous does the Mos Pit, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, this was at 6:02, the photo.
There you go.
Not a lot of people came
Okay.
after
Yeah.
that. I'll tell you that right now. Sort of first that
Were you up there
photo.
having a
was like-
cigarette?
That was from inside. I didn't
I
even go
know.
outside.
Oh, yeah. You're
I didn't even. I
inside
could
with-
see just right on it. So
Yeah,
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 no.
yeah,
I
that's
always take a look, and yeah, it was. Usually, I can hear them when the Oilers score.
Yeah.
I just heard the horn when the Oilers score. I didn't hear the game. Although I watched it on ESPN.
Did you
was
like
nice.
it?
I did. I enjoyed
Who
watching.
had the call? Was it
Sean McDonough and Ray Ferraro.
I find he's great at football, but his hockey is. The cadence is like different with Sean McDonough.
I don't mind it just because it's different. I love Chris Cuthbert, really do.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the panel. I didn't watch the intermission halftime. The intermission on ESPN.
Yeah.
I was watching a little more of the basketball, but
We had PK on yesterday, and I saw him doing the live view of the.
there was like a 3D thing apparently. Yeah, VR
really?
thing, which some people liked it. Like, it was funny because I saw just on Twitter, like, I think it was Frank Cervalli's like, I love this, hope they do it more. And then, like, the next tweet was Pete Blackburn going, this sucks. And I was like,
no.
okay, well,
I'll have to check that out.
that's where that is. But it was just cool watching it from a different network.
Yeah. I still think the TNT broadcast is the best.
Do they get the cup this year?
No.
Look at that. No,
I
it's
think
ESPN.
it's ESPN this year. Yeah.
Which means ABC too.
Good to see Gaz with David Amber
Yep.
in Dallas. Bukauskas, best ringside guy in the league. Unfortunately, he's doing the Carolina series.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, Gene gets this.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
Yes.
did Gene get conference last year?
No.
I don't think he did.
They bump him to news.
Yeah.
And that means he gets he doesn't get the game broadcast, he gets all the other stuff.
But I'm glad he got bumped up to the
good
to the
point.
main one.
Good,
that
good.
one I like. Kyle probably come in maybe and do the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Gene's getting this one.
Gene is one of the best in the league.
he deserves it.
And I think of Gene, well, first of all, as my uncle. And then he's a great host. And then
And what you see is exactly what you see off camera. Like, he
Yes.
is a diamond of a human being. He's just so generous. He's so nice. He wants to get to know you. Very nice, man.
he's not actually my uncle for those who are like, oh, that's how you did it. No, he's not actually my uncle.
I remember having a chat with somebody once who wasn't a big fan of Gene. They didn't like the shtick and stuff. I'm like, Gene's the nicest guy ever.
Such a likable
And they're like,
person.
oh, and then that changed their mind once they learned that like it actually like it's not fake or anything. Like it's just he is a good dude.
Yeah.
It's all nice. He's just having fun and stuff. They're like, oh, okay.
You were his studio runner too one season.
No.
I thought you were.
No, I think I shadowed him once.
Oh,
but
yeah,
never
I
was a
remember
runner,
that
I think.
day.
Yeah.
I was his
He-
studio runner for a full season.
My mother babysat him when he was younger. They
Oh,
lived on the
wow.
same street.
I was his bitch. I straight up was. I had to get him like tea and coffee and game notes and set up his interviews and
It makes me sad that I don't actually get to see him when I go to all their games because of like he's nowhere near.
he's in the studio.
He's on, and though that's on the different spots, you can't
Yeah.
see him or anything.
Yeah.
I always like saying hi to Gene. Just such a nice guy.
The best.
Very genuine.
Really is. Luke, apparently there was I know from just other things that there was a talk of maybe him being in Edmonton for the conference finals.
He said he's coming.
What?
Wild.
Last I was heard it wasn't coming.
He texted me. He says he's coming.
Oh, perfect. I owe him a hoodie.
All right.
An EST one?
Glue Crew.
Oh. Still awesome.
So I'm going to have to look into that. Okay. I'll have to find a way to get that to him. No way. He's coming. Well, now I'm just sitting here in silence. That's not good.
No, it's okay. Speaking of panelists,
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, no, that's
go
not
ahead,
you.
Jasmine.
I should say something there, but I'm just now thinking, and it's not good for radio.
go for it.
No, I'm still thinking. You're going to jump in on something.
Yeah, Kelly Rudy made a point yesterday about where Edmonton was shooting. You wanted me to text.
Oh, go ahead. No. I
Where
can't read
Edmonton was
this
shooting,
one.
they were kind of shooting from kind of the same area, in the same there was like some sweet spot. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that either. I think on the left side of Ottinger.
Blocker side? Was that what Rudy was saying?
Yes. No.
Did they score blocker side on? Leon's goal was blocker
Leon,
side.
yeah.
The other two were glove.
Glove, yeah.
It just seemed like they were just in that area the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
If I had one just disappointment of yesterday's game a little more, I feel like that was the closest to, like, it was a Connor Leon game in a sense.
Yeah.
And maybe
About
a little
time,
wasted.
but did Dry look 100% to you?
He's fine.
He looked 100 to me. Just saying, he was flying.
He's fine. The goal.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example. Golden Knights, bigger, stronger, tougher to play against physically. Leon's game, that would be tough for him to do what he likes to do, impose himself physically, use that roll off the body kind of thing, because they're physically just as big as him. That first goal, who did he hold off on the line and kept it in? Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah.
He held Wyatt Johnston off, physically outmatched him, turns it back the other way, makes a pass, and then Connor feeds him, and then he's got speed, goes in and takes a shot. Against the Golden Knights, he's being bumped off that puck, and it's going back the other way. But he makes that play, he walks the line, hangs onto the puck, outmuscles Wyatt Johnston. That's a perfect example of where Vegas was able to kind of contain him, and Dallas doesn't have the same big body physical guys that the Golden Knights do.
Is it concerning that the Oilers, you could say, wasted a Draisaitl McDavid performance game and Rantanen didn't get a point?
The Rantanen part is a good one. The
Very.
McDavid Draisaitl, I feel like those good games
Those are coming.
unlimited.
Yeah.
Rantanen will get going. That'd be the concern. And that's where I'll just go back to, as much as the Oilers look good for the first 40, I can't go fully. I see the gentleman sweep because Dallas has adjustments to make too. And Dallas will make some changes. And Dallas will try to improve on some things that I don't think people should feel less confident the Oilers are going to win this series. But I think this just adds on to where, you guys were yesterday of this is going to be a long series. Well, when it's a long series, there's losses.
Yep.
And that's what's still to come. Like, Dallas still will get theirs. Dallas still will find another winner too, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Oilers could absolutely go win 4 against this team.
Do you think
Like,
Dallas?
both are true.
Do you think they felt a little worried though after that game?
The Dallas Stars?
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
No.
I-
They're probably looking at their perseverance, sticking with it, didn't give up.
The thing they
Yeah.
could say, it's a 60-minute hockey game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over 60 minutes, they found more goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Seriously.
Like, that they could keep up. And I guess we could say it's a Connor and Leon game. They could maybe go, no one else. The depth wasn't there for the Oilers. We then just have to deal with Connor and Leon. We've got Randon. He could, if once he gets going, we're good. We've got this. And the other thing they might be able to look at is, what was the final shots of that game?
28-27 Dallas.
Yeah, okay. So I thought it was pretty close, like even. They could maybe sit there in their locker and be like, our guy made more saves than the other guy.
True.
Like that, there's a lot for the Dallas Stars, I think, coming away from that going very confident. They could look at the first 40 and be like, we need to be better 5-on-5. There's always going to be that. But I think they walk away from a 6-3 victory going, all right, let's do it again on Friday. And we can go do it again on Friday.
I think, like, in the second intermission, I was talking to one of my friends, and we were talking, like, yeah, McDavid and Draisaitl are going right now, but the Oilers' depth isn't costing them anything right now. It does not look like the Oilers were getting outplayed when McDavid and Draisaitl weren't out there. So
No.
it's hard to say, like McDavid and Draisaitl were going crazy last night and playing all well, but it wasn't a typical, like, them, like, the Drysdale and McDavid's backs are heavy from this game. It felt like whenever Connor Brown's line came out, it just kept the sustained pressure. It was a good 5-on-5 game for them. Obviously, just
I thought Hyman, Kane, and Nugent Hopkins were just fine too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, when they got United. Yep.
And what, Hyman has the most hits? He had 84 before that game, I think, and now it's 96.
One of my friends actually paid attention to the full game last night. He goes, "Has Hyman hit this much?" We're like,
Yeah.
dude, like this whole playoffs he's been doing this. Like, he
Legit.
throws his weight around. Like he averaged like 0.8 hits a game in the regular season. Now he averages like 8 in the playoffs or something. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like
that is true. What do you got? I know you're giggling at something.
Oh, there's one. 99, thank you for this. He said that Kelly Rudy was pointing out how he said his pre-scout was to shoot blocker, but the oil kept beating him glove side. That's
Okay, good observation. That reminded me too. Yesterday, they do have a heat chart on goalies. Like they post it, and this guy does this, and there's always a few notes, and they show how many goals. So they do a pre-scout on their goalies. Anyway, sorry. I interrupted you.
this one by you, Ratnin, more like Catnin.
Big
Get
kid.
it?
Canton, yes.
Okay.
I have a text, Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Uncle Dave says, game one of any series I always think of as a look at who the opponent is and how to play against them. Last year, every game one, including Florida, I thought the teams looked beatable. I feel the same thing this year, including last night. Stars look beatable. Outside of 5 to 6 minutes of poor decisions, the Oilers were the better team. Dallas is not a final boss. Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave, you right.
The flip side is if you're the Dallas Stars and you're a fan of the Stars, do you look at the Oilers and go, they're not beatable again? Or do you see the Oilers are a beatable team that you can finish 3 of the remaining 6 games? I think if you're the Dallas Stars, you sit there and be like, we could beat this team 3 more times.
Of course.
That's the flip side to this. You get to the conference finals, for the most part, the teams are always really good. You know, there's it's fine margins that separate these teams. Like I would be, I'm expecting the Hurricanes to have a much better game today against the Panthers. You get to this level, it's tight. So we'll see. Tomorrow, GCLD's Oilers Dream pregame show will get going once again at 5:00. Hudson's West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Hudson's West Edmonton Mall. Bourbon Street.
That's the one.
So that is coming. This is Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, which is presented by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun. You're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with promo code YEG50 and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started. Abutski has been asking this a couple times, so I'll just quickly get there.
Okay.
And we'll get to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I
thought
I'll ask again, how do you feel about how do the Knicks feel today? He also asked before, the Oilers will be fine. How will the Knicks react to their epic choke job in game one? For those that didn't see, the Knicks were up 9 points with 52 seconds, 52.8. I can't remember the exact decimal point, and blew it. Went to overtime, couldn't get it done.
Yikes.
I didn't want to text Clausen.
He was texting in this morning.
I heard that. I did. I wanted to text him last time, like, sorry, but I don't like being that guy too. It's like, sorry. I did feel bad. They had it. Whatever. Duke was up by a similar margin when they blew it in the Final Four.
That's insane.
I know what it's like to be in that spot. It sucks. How will they be after that? I think the Knicks are fine. The Knicks are I don't think the Pacers are going to roll over the Knicks. I'm concerned about Halliburton doing the Reggie Miller choke.
Yeah.
Saw that.
He thought he had it. He thought it was a 3. Or because at the post interview, he's like, he didn't want it. He's like, I wish I didn't do it. He didn't realize it just tied the game.
That was all
But it's not even
over.
that. I don't care. The fact that you did it, even if it was to win the game,
Yeah.
it's game one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're giving the bulletin board material to the Knicks to be like, this guy's saying the series is over. Nah, we still got some basketball to play. We still got a series.
Knock on drywall.
Well,
There's a stud in there somewhere. Yeah, he swears by it.
Well, there has to be. There's a stud somewhere.
Yeah. What if there isn't? That would be messed up.
Truthfully, in this place,
Who knows?
there's a 50-50 chance there is no stud. With the way it's renovated. You might be right on that.
Oh,
But yeah, that's a crushing loss, I guess.
At home.
Well, so this is the how do they respond is going to dictate this series. This could be a crusher where then they do get rolled over because they're just mentally beat, or they sit there and go, screw that, we're going to go take game 2, and they take game 2. Pacers are a good basketball team.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Clausen's in. Got the
Uh-oh.
text. Knicks are okay. Dominated through 46 minutes. It's when he actually said that to the morning show today, I thought that's the same like the Oilers fans going with, hey, God, we're better for first 40 minutes. Knicks could say 46 minutes.
Yeah, there was similarities in that game. Like there was like a 14-point deficit in 3 minutes.
Knicks won the series when
right?
Reggie did the choke sign.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even there.
Oh.
What you know what's so funny when the Oilers game was finished? I was so angry and I just looked at my phone quickly to see the Pacers score and I think all this just happened like immediately after the Oilers game.
It was very quick.
Yeah, so I didn't know there was OT. I by accident found out when I was in the shower.
I clicked on Twitter and I saw, I was on ESPN.
Yeah.
And the game ended and it went to Scott Van Pelt and he said, I don't know, the Pacers may have just won this game. And I'm going, excuse me?
Yeah.
Last I saw, this game was over.
Exactly.
And then I looked at my phone and it was going to overtime and it's like, okay, so that's where the Halliburton 3-2 changed.
Wow.
And then I watched overtime, but I was like, where did this come from? Here's Clausen. He brought up a good point. There was one pacer, I forgot who it was, who just was. Every time it took a three, it was going in. Like that is not.
It was Nesmith.
That's not sustainable. That is not going to happen. You did add, thanks for not texting last night though. I had a stiff drink and went straight to bed in a stupor. I know the feeling, Josh. So I was thinking of you though. I was thinking of you because that one sucked.
Yeah, he had 6 threes.
It's not. It's just not sustainable. But that's where I will sometimes come to like analytics and stats is there's a mix for everything. How do you there's a thing of momentum
Yes.
and feeling hot. And I don't know if there's a stat to determine when a player's hot. It's not like NBA Jam where you get the fire around you
Computer
when you take the
generated.
shot.
Yeah.
There are sometimes you're just feeling hot and that guy went off for 6 threes.
Dialed
You know
in.
what else was really thrilling? The way Halliburton's shot went in. It bounced and it was like a really high bounce and then went in. Oh. Just unreal. So all you NBA haters, because a lot of the chat was giving Dusty a hard time going, he talks about NBA in the 6 o'clock hour. I encourage you to watch the end of the highlight. Oh, just incredible stuff.
Tuata Bootsy asked, I think Oiler fans and Knicks fans both should feel very good
Yes.
still after a Game 1 loss. But I also think Stars and Pacers fans are feeling very good after the Game 1 wins.
I can't compare them. I feel like the Oilers fans should be happy.
I think
Knicks are Knicks.
But I think with the way
No
that game
offense,
was
Josh.
played,
Yeah.
you up until 52 seconds left in the game, they were in control. They were dominating that basketball game almost to a degree. That's where if you're a Knicks fan, look, you go take one in Indiana, you've got home court again. You got to go take game 2. There's more pressure
Maybe.
on the Knicks than
Pacers
the
are a good
Oilers.
team, but-
The Knicks can't go down 0-2
Yeah.
because then you're going on the road.
Yeah.
The Oilers can go down 0-2. You're coming home. Like that, just the way sports goes. But I think everyone after yesterday from NBA and NHL, everyone that played, I think their fan bases could still feel pretty good about the series that they're in through one game. I think it's the Hurricanes are the team right now that I would say sit there and have to go, oof.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. I'm going to be watching with a curious eye tonight.
Yeah. That one, I don't think they could sit there and feel like, we've got this series. Like, that's okay. You need a really good game, too, to show that you can match up with the Panthers. Yesterday, from both games, I don't think there's, again, you win a game, you're happy. You should feel good. The 2 losers, I think, could still feel very happy with the way that was as you're looking through a series.
Right.
Quick shout out to SGA, MVP.
How long has it been since Steve Nash won his second and final NBA MVP? That was what?
Second and final. What do you mean?
What did he win? 2?
Back to back.
Back to
MVPs.
back. Yeah. He didn't win anything after that. When was that? Like 2005?
I want to say, I think you're right.
So 20
Like
years
something
later.
like that. He should have won a 3-time MVP. He deserved it over Dirk. 05-06.
Yeah. Okay. So 20 years ago, basically, Jazzy, you would know better than I. Maybe Benny too. I don't know how much you follow basketball, but okay. You would know too, Maddie, obviously. But how important is it for Canadian basketball to have another Canadian MVP 20 years later?
He's the second Canadian?
Yeah,
to
Steve
win it?
Nash.
Yeah. No,
Was the first.
yeah, and SGA was the second.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important is it for Canada?
Yeah. Because I know we're getting better at basketball, but like it's kind of another point of emphasis.
I think
isn't
it's
it?
important just because of the crop of stars we have right now. Like Jokic is unbelievable. Giannis is incredible. There's a lot of great players, and a Canadian came out and has proven to be the best this season. Now, I know there'll be some saying Jokic deserved it maybe more this year. I know Dusty goes that way. I know Bruce Arthur's a guy that felt he deserved it, but he's in the conversation right now.
Right.
But now he's won it. I think it's maybe that cherry on top of how good of a crop Canada has produced now. That, you know, we have the champion in Jamal Murray. We've had first overall picks in
Bennett.
I'm going to take away Bennett. I was going to take him away. But, you know, Wiggins, he's an NBA champion as well.
he is. Yeah.
We've had lottery picks. We have a stable of when you go to the Olympics, we can say we have all NBA players, which I don't think any other nation can say outside of the Americans. And now to add the MVP on top of that, I think that's pretty big. That's pretty, like, look, Luka Doncic doesn't have an MVP.
Right.
Great young player. He doesn't have an MVP. SJ went and got it done. I also think it's one that, like, I don't think anyone ever projected this for him from when he came to the NBA. Like, this player has kind of exploded on the scene ever since he's gone to OKC. And that's big. You know, I think that helps Canada basketball keep pushing this momentum. And, you know, the people will credit the Raptors / Grizzlies and Steve Nash for this crop of NBA players because now look, hey, I could go play for a Canadian team, or this Canadian's doing it.
Yeah.
Now you have all these Canadians, including another MVP now. This maybe helps keep that pipeline of Canadian basketball strong.
Max Bezuzu, Raptors Vince Carter era was more influential to Canadian basketball than Steve Nash winning MVP.
Ah.
Yeah, I can see that. But again, it was one where if you're a Canadian basketball player, like I think the Raptors was maybe more, I can go play in the NBA. Look, I could go play in Canada, where Steve Nash was, I can go play in the NBA and be one of the best.
Yes.
My passport's not going to stop me from that.
Right.
That's the difference. It set that next bar of we can go compete with anyone in the NBA. I can go compete with, at that time, I can go compete with Kobe. I can go compete with these guys. Now I can go compete with Jokic and Giannis and all these guys.
When I think of that era of basketball, and especially Canadians, I think more Steve Nash, less Rick Fox. Remember, he would always shut down Canada whenever, like, Olympics, World Championships.
Yeah, he never showed up.
Yeah.
Kind of a zaddy.
Yeah.
Made Matt Bonner show up.
What's a zaddy?
You know what a zaddy is. It's like good looking daddy
Oh,
who has some money.
he was married to Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah.
She was a baddie.
Yeah, she was.
Hey-o. I know some of the
Yeah,
lingo.
you do in your bad bitch o'clock.
That was fun to say. Yeah, I like that. I like bad bitch o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a great term.
Shay's speech was really nice too. He it was organic. He didn't prepare anything. He went out and just thanked his parents, of course, but then he talked about his wife, and then he was just crying and crying. He gifted all his teammates a Rolex,
Nice.
right?
Of course.
Sick.
That boy's going to get paid.
Yeah, I was about to look. What is his contract status? Like, and what kind of contract is he on right now? He's only
Find out.
26.
Find out. I'm going to read this text from Atif. Atif was at BP last night with Francis. Good to see
Happy
you.
early birthday, because it's coming up this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Atif says, I was just wondering what you guys thought of, and this is just for fun, The Simpsons predicting the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup. It was great to see everybody at Westgate BP yesterday to celebrate the start of my birthday week. I will definitely try to get out there tomorrow to Bourbon Street. Atif. Happy birthday, Atif.
Happy birthday, Teef.
When did they predict this Oilers winning the Cup?
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't know when they predicted that.
I don't know. I have not watched an episode of The Simpsons in decades.
It's all on my PVR, all the new ones, but just never go to it. Never have time.
Shay's making just under 36 million. Next year he makes
30s. Nice.
Next year he makes just over 38 million. The year after that he makes almost 41 million.
Not bad.
Or that's his cap hit. What's the cash? Is the cash the same? Yeah, the cash is the same. So UFA 27, 28 when he's 29. He gonna get paid in that one. This contract, it's a 5-year, $180 million contract he's on.
Oh. New texter. That is significant money, though. That's a lot of honey buns, as they
5
like
years,
to say.
and he made that money.
Attaboy. Good Canadian guy doing well. Bungie Brat says, first text. Great analysis as always, folks. Jazz, is that a swear?
Yeah, there's a lot of swears in that. Dusty just screenshotted me.
Okay, who loves and was born and raised around his Punjabi brethren and agree 95% of the quote-unquote nalak comment about the game. But 5% of me thinks, not going to read that because I'm assuming that's a swear.
That's a very, very bad swear.
Yeah, we're not reading that one.
Swear. Yeah.
I'm glad my instincts are sharp today. But mostly, don't worry, E-Town faithful. Nalak, McJesus and Super Dry will lead the way, and Nobstradamus will make all the adjustments necessary to achieve a Game 2 win. From Bungie Brat. That's not a swear.
No, that's not a swear.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, Bungie Brat.
See,
I'm on to these
Thank
swears.
you for that,
It's
by the way.
Italians
Appreciate
trying to
it.
Part of me
sneak in.
though that says
Yeah.
like I'm open to swearing in all other languages,
Really? These ones are bad.
but
The way
so
she
few
reacted.
people would know.
It was like SFer basically. Like,
Oh,
But I
Bungie Brat,
think,
well
like,
played.
If anyone was listening, if Tom just read that without asking for your permission on words, there
That's
would be
like just
people that know, but there would be people that know what he's saying and would laugh because they know that
They're like,
Tommy would
"Oh,
know what he
no."
was saying.
Yeah.
And that's why it'd be funny to me. I'm kind of okay with, I'll take the heat. I'll defend anyone here. If
Yeah.
they want to swear in another language, I'll defend it with that complaint that comes in.
You just opened the door.
oh man.
Just-
Yeah.
Maddie's like, come on in with your swears from
Just
other
no
languages.
English. Just no English, but swear in another language.
Well played. That's a good text, though, anyway. First
yeah.
text.
I like that text
Yeah,
a
that's
lot.
funny.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, live right here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Thanks to everyone for listening live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, watching on YouTube or listening on podcast, wherever your podcast. Tommy, Jasmine, Benny, and Matt with you here. Raider Jesse just sending this to me. Shea's probably going to get like $1 million a game in a couple of years.
With the way
I can
things
see
are
that.
Inflation?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Clausen, what did Clausen just text me too here?
In the cap and stuff.
He could be eligible for the Supermax extension, which is 5 years worth up to $380 million, making it the largest in NBA history. The contract would potentially make him the first player in NBA history to earn a salary of $80 million in a season. He could also sign a 4-year, $293 million super extension this offseason. He can afford a few Rolexes for teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, like the money that it's insane. In
It
the
is.
NBA.
Because we're at the 50 mil quarterback now. Have we hit that?
I think.
Or we're getting there?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know who the most
what about
recent
Brock?
quarterbacks are.
Brock Purdy got a monster deal too, didn't he?
$181
Yeah,
million
he did.
over 5, guaranteed.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
But yeah, I think we've
that might have passed
we've
it.
reached the $50 million quarterback. So yeah, I mean, basketball players. There's only 13 guys on the roster. The salaries are huge.
$1 million a game.
That's insane. But
That's
I
incredible.
mean, and that tells you where the advertising bucks are. And
Dak makes $60 million a year according to this one overthecap.com. Joe Burrow's 55, Josh Allen's 55, Jordan Love's 55, Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence is 55,
Yeah.
Tua's 53.1, Jared Goff's 53, Brock Purdy's now 53, Justin Herbert's 52.5, Lamar's 52, Jalen Hurts is 51. They're all over 50. Then it's Kyler Murray at 46.1.
that was a big deal like 2 years ago.
6, 7.
And people are like, he's gonna want $40 million. He hasn't done anything. And I'm like, I agree. He plays video games. The team sucks. And he got paid. And now all those other QBs have passed him. And I think deservedly so too.
11 QBs make 50 or more
That's insane.
a year.
Shai's also only missed 6 games. That's pretty good.
That's important. Good
Yeah.
endurance.
That's funny. The $1 million a game. So that, it was funny. Like my dad's got friends with Jerome Aginla, and we, like to like prove a point of like how special he is. Like he's like let's do the math on how much he makes a game. And he did it, and I just did the math on it. That's not $1 million a game, and it felt like
Like a couple $100,000 a game.
73.
73,000 a game.
Yeah.
And Jerome Aginla did very well for himself
Yes.
in his career.
And Shea's gonna make $1 million, most likely $1 million.
Yeah, these guys, I mean,
That's ridiculous.
they like moved to Monaco for S&Gs.
Yeah.
Where do you live now? Monaco.
the
Yeah.
life.
Why? That's where all my people are.
Think about it like this. Anthony Edwards got fined yesterday $50,000. He, I think his total is now $400,000
In fines?
For fines.
That's insane.
Just for like swearing.
And that's nothing.
Like exactly.
Who was
change
it?
someone's
Okay,
life.
that I said honey buns earlier, but I remember it was a few years ago. James Harden was like playing hardball with Houston, and he went to Da Baby's birthday party instead of being in training camp.
Whose birthday party?
Da Baby.
The babies.
Yeah, and his gift for Da Baby was like this fancy Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and it was loaded with honey buns. And I've learned that honey buns are stacks of 50 grand.
I love that.
Such a different life.
Exactly.
It's
Such a different
insane.
life.
It's insane.
Like I could use one of those honey buns right now. Thank you very
Honey
much.
buns.
Yeah, I'll just use like give me one honey bun, James Harden. Forget the bag. Just a honey bun would be lovely.
At first, I was thinking about Tommy talking about the other honey buns. You know that. He likes.
Oh yeah, no, I had to learn what these honey buns meant. I was like, wait a second.
You probably looked into it because you thought honey buns was something else.
Of
Okay?
course, yeah. Obviously,
SGA also has a deal now with Converse.
Yeah.
that's where he did the shoe
Remember
this year.
that butter?
Even I know that.
Butters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
I just
really
love
weird
that.
shoe with the zipper.
And everybody was hating on it, but
Because Mex Bezozu's, oh yeah, those ones, sorry. Because Mex Bezozu say that is a deal is more than what Connor gets from the Oilers.
100%.
I'm just trying to see what that contract is. I can't find it there.
100%.
Well, that's the one thing the NBA has is that the shoe deal in itself is massive money. Everyone has a shoe and they make so much money just off the
Yep.
shoe deal on the side of their NBA contract.
for sure.
Like, I think that is looking NBA salary cap right now is 140. The NHL's getting to 100 soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's a $40 million difference for half the players
Yes,
at about
yes,
know, like
13, right? Like
12,
so-
13 players versus like 25-ish for
Yep.
the NHL at times or so. Like, that's insane.
There are guys in the NBA, and don't get me wrong, I'm a casual observer. I always admit this of the NBA. There are guys in the NBA that you could tell me, oh, so and so in Portland, and he comes off the bench once every 4 games, and I'd be like, what? Who? And then people would be like, well, he makes $9 million a year.
yeah.
It's like, how many games did he play? Half of them? Not even? A quarter of them? He made $9 million?
That's left-hander relief pitcher for me.
Yes, that
They'll
would be the
they
best
used
job.
to make like easy $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Now I think it's higher than that.
Yeah.
But they have to show up every 2 games or whatever, pitch for 2 batters or whatever.
Well, it's a minimum
done.
3 now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But like, boom, in and out.
Yeah.
They're all good.
So I'm gonna have a kid. We're gonna hit him up with a lot of HGH. He's gonna be 6'7",
Actually, it's funny you say that.
and he's only gonna pitch. I'm gonna
Tie the right arm behind the back.
Exactly.
So that they learn how to throw left.
and he's gonna throw left. He's gonna become a middle reliever and play for 15 years, and then I'm gonna retire on his dime.
I'm so
done.
gonna do that.
Yes,
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Here I thought I'm gonna get a golfer. No, let's do
No.
that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's the left-hander relief
Yeah.
pitcher. That's what have you ever had a kid left-hander relief pitcher?
Yeah, you train them.
The official drink of the EST Hangout, it is the Finnish long drink legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada is where you can enter your postal code and find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. I wanted to get to this because you bring up HGH. I saw this pop up yesterday because this has been, people have thrown this out there for years. Apparently, there is a pro doping enhanced games that is going to debut in May of 2026 in Las Vegas. Athletes allowed to use PEDs under medical oversight. They want to embrace the enhancements of
Superhumans.
science and all of that and go and see what humans can do doped up.
I mean,
Morally,
Next year.
it's not good.
yeah. Like, what if their hearts explode or something?
Yeah.
Well,
there's
right?
medical oversight.
Yeah.
That'll be fine. But there are a lot of people that say, like, screw it. Just give me dope these athletes. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah,
the
well.
baseball era was great when they were hitting the home runs. Dope these athletes. Let's see it. We might get it next year in May. We'll see if this takes off the ground. The enhanced games too. I like the name.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be some legal documents and waivers signed.
Oh, those will be ironclad.
Oh, yes. Airtight. Okay. It's
Yep.
happening. Well, that's not
Something
good.
like that is happening.
That's not something I would encourage my kid to do.
Right?
Yeah, that's different from left-hand relief pitchers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with HGH in the milk and
It's
whatever.
different from
Yeah,
child
yeah,
abuse.
Yeah. Son, today we're doing steroids. You're gonna do your first you're gonna start your first cycle. All right.
So stay tuned for that May next year.
Do you guys want to guess Knicks prices for their seats?
Ooh.
Okay, what was the average price?
The average price bothers me a little bit because it's the average. So it's the high prices for the lower bowl are going to naturally just shoot that up.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what the lowest price is. The
Can
average
you get
price
in-
I'm guessing is like $3,500.
Okay. What do you think?
We're in the conference final, right?
Yep. First game.
$2,000.
Okay, Benny.
38.
Okay, this is all USD, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 1,200.
Okay.
But the highest ticket price?
12K?
10,000.
11 and a half.
$62,000
Yeah, that sounds about
USD.
right. That's a courtside somewhere.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'd like to know what the lowest is. I'm assuming lowest is like 700-800,
I think it was.
which is high, like
Yeah.
still, but like I'm assuming the lowest. Like I like when they give me the medium.
I think it was in the thousand. Well,
Well, it couldn't be over.
No,
if
it couldn't because it changed. I was looking last week.
Oh, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So.
Well,
Amazing.
I know I saw a video. Did you send it to me? Or there was another video that was sent. No, there was a different one of how the Knicks determine who gets celeb seats and stuff. And
No,
apparently
wow.
they've created a little committee
Ooh.
because they're getting even more requests right now. And they specifically choose who they will give it to and who they won't. Because now they're getting even more requests and they want a committee to be who's the best value for the Knicks. Because also it's like one of those, if you take these tickets, you might need to give back to the Knicks one day. And this clip pointed out that James Gandolfini, when he was alive, him and Edie Falco, in their characters from The Sopranos, they created a little video that they sent to LeBron to try to encourage him to sign with the Knicks at the time. So you might be asked to do something for the Knicks. There's a little bit of a give and take here. You come to the Knicks game, you got to be shown on camera, but we might ask you for something down the line. But so they want to pick the best celebs that they can get.
Unreal.
Oh.
I wonder if that's why we haven't seen much of Kylie Jenner.
No,
So it's a
she's not
competi-
getting the tickets.
No, I know Timothy is.
Timothy would.
Yeah.
So is he going to bring her?
But maybe
again?
they're like,
because the
don't.
Kardashians are from LA.
Yeah.
They ain't Knicks fans.
Yeah. I know. And that's what I mean. Like, they probably don't bring her. Yeah, Celebrity Row is rocking.
Yeah, okay. This is weird.
Oh,
so that's what they're doing with celebrities. And
Chef Lee was at the game yesterday, wearing Dallas gear, by the way.
Oh, Scotty Scheffler.
I'm sorry. Scotty
Yeah.
Scheffler, yes.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I mean, Dustin Johnson goes to like all the Panthers games, so. Although he's not having a good run. He's done. He's basically retired. He took his 150 mil. He goes and plays live golf once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that needed the competition to get his game. But and now that there isn't one for him, he slips into the whatever. I got my money.
Yep.
Whereas there's other guys that go,
sucks.
yeah, I got my money, but I still want to go win things.
wanna win.
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys. Although I'm actually impressed with John Rahm. Well, we know we talked about this a couple
You on
weeks
the
ago.
rum?
I just picture like I know he fell apart at the end, but I didn't think. I'm surprised. I was glad to see his name was near the top of the leaderboard for a while, just because he hadn't been there in a while.
Where's Kepka this year? Like, I haven't.
I saw a picture somebody posted of him at a liquor store or a grocery store getting a
Great.
20-pack or whatever of Miller Lite.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
So I don't think he did great.
He's he had a couple good tournaments last year, right? Like
Yes.
I
He always shows up at majors. Yeah,
Well,
that's his career.
yeah, and DeChambeau's been in the mix this year, and good on him. And I will give him credit. I know I dump on him because I haven't liked him since day one, but good on him for kind of warming up to people and changing his way of being. I still think he's a tool, but yeah, those live guys, man, it's over. Like you took the bag and that's it. And I know Clausen likes live, and I have watched. I still will check out because I subscribe to it because of Josh, and I'll watch some of those tournaments. And it just looks like it's a party with golf happening. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a casual golfer, that's how I'd like to play and get paid hundreds of thousands at the end of the tournament for playing okay golf.
After next year, contracts start expiring. Apparently, you just looked it up. Brooks' contract expires after next year. Bryson's, Sergio Garcia's expire next year.
But will there be any motivation from those guys to go back to the PGA?
To PGA?
Yeah.
Bryson's the one I'm watching.
That's the one I think.
Bryson's
Yeah.
the one because if the PGA can get him back, I think that's it for Liv.
Yeah.
Because he became the star. He's one of the few golfers that went to live and saw his popularity increase. Now he's done that on his own with his YouTube channels and doing all that stuff. But his popularity has gone up. If Liv keeps him, then okay, the Liv is committed to doing this still a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But if the PGA can convince him, then, and if he goes, I'm done with Liv, it's hard. It's going to be hard for Liv to then convince people to want to come there because it's going to be like, well, you brought this guy over and he's going back to the PGA because he doesn't see competition over here.
Right. Well,
right. And so that's the Bryson contract is the big one for me because then, and it's also do the Saudis want to continue with this?
their funds are unlimited.
I know they have funds unlimited, but
insane.
there is also a point where they're probably going to sit there and be like, we want some return for this.
Yeah.
In year one, those golfers got to fly on these beautiful commercial or chartered flights that were parties. Apparently, year two, that changed. That was over. Like they cut out some of that stuff because, hey, we convinced you on, but now it's about golf and stuff. And I know like some caddies got some things that they didn't get anymore. Are the Saudis at that point going to sit there and be like, we're going to keep just throwing money into this empty pit? Or are they going to be like, well, we want to see some return. We're not seeing any return. We're good. That's the fascination for me on this.
Okay, like when Liv started, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Phil going there, Phil's done, right? Like he'd be on the seniors tour now. Johnson's career has just fizzled out because he doesn't care. John Rahm, I wish Rahm had just stayed in the PGA, especially with all the things he said about Liv. But what did he get? $350 million?
I thought it was more.
Jeez. Who else went over there? Well, Koepka, if he's going to pick up a 20 pack of Millers.
300 to 500 million Liv for John Rahm.
Who else went over? Did Joaquin
Neiman? Yeah.
He went over. Did Tommy Fleetwood go over?
Nope. Fleetwood stayed. Ian Poulter went.
Who's this? Yeah, Poulter's old too.
He was old. He was done.
Yeah. Who's the British guy I'm thinking of that went over? That was just getting going. Cameron.
Not Cam Smith. Then Cam Smith? Because Cam Smith's Aussie.
Oh, he's Aussie. Sorry, not British.
But
he went over, right?
Yeah. Well, he went after the Open Championship.
Right, after he was starting to put it together on the PGA. Like,
he's never
could
found
go
his
back.
form.
Yeah.
But he's not found that form again while playing Live.
If he get his tour,
and he's come to the majors, and actually he was doing decent this weekend. I'd have to go look at how it went.
But he was starting to just crank it up, and then boom.
He was the first. He was the first one that I was like, I was sad. That, and I was like, the Live got something.
Yeah.
When they took everyone else, even Bryson to me at the time, I went, the PGA's not lost a golfer that is a big deal yet. It was Cam Smith that went, okay, that's a steal from Liv. And then they took John Rahm. But John Rahm also did it when there was the talks of these mergers. And the mergers are still there. It hasn't completely fallen through.
True.
Still don't know what's going on. I wonder if PGA is just waiting them out to see what these contracts are like next year.
PGA's going to win this battle. They're going to win this battle.
The only way they lose it is if all of a sudden this Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, all these top, Xander, Colin Morikawa go, we're done. We're going to go.
I don't think they're going.
Because outside, like when you look at the TV numbers, a PGA event that is a nothing is beating out Live numbers. People are still following PGA.
I made this offhand comment. There was they were kicking off. It might have been like round one of a Live event, but I went and watched it live on YouTube. It had less numbers than we do on our midday shows live, viewership wise. I mean, we have our listener side too, which is big, but I was like, they have less viewers than we do. It was. I was like, I'm flipping between EST afternoons and the Live Golf tournament, and Hernan and Gage beating Live Golf. I'm like, I think that's kind of telling.
I just want to see more. I just want them all together. I will say credit to the Live and credit to Phil in this because they ultimately did force the hand of the PGA to change things and give the players more.
That's true.
Liv will always, at the very least, have a legacy of that. Whether they continue or they don't, that will always be a legacy. They got more money for the PGA players, just like the WHA had a legacy too with the NHL.
Yeah,
they will always have the ABA.
Same thing.
There's a legacy that will always be there. But I just want the best playing together.
Yeah. What do you got, Jazzy?
Oh, I was just reading the nasty chat.
Anything good?
Lots of good stuff.
It's late
about
on
your
us.
discussion. Tiger and Rory staying with PGA saved the PGA.
Oh, those were the big
Yeah,
names. Those were the ones everyone was watching at that time. And it was if they go, and Tiger probably more so. than Rory. If Tiger went and Rory stayed, I think Tiger would have brought a lot of people. Had Rory gone and Tiger stayed, I think PGA could have weathered that one still a little bit. Because Tiger's just a beast on his own. But yeah, those were the two guys. And I was actually surprised at how ingrained, like how much they like fought for the PGA.
They dug in, right?
Yeah, they did. And it was nice to see. And then not losing Scotty Scheffler. I still always remember when Scotty Scheffler like walked in the line of Cam Smith after knowing Cam was going. And Cam even like looked at him like, what are you doing? Like walking my line. But Scotty Scheffler didn't care.
Whatever.
I really like Scotty Scheffler.
So do I. He's likable.
Yeah, and I didn't like him when he first came on because I'm like, there's no personality to this guy. This is a whatever. And then I've only watched the first season of Full Swing, but he was in it. And I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So I can get behind Scotty Scheffler. Actually, what was the funniest? I saw a joke about, because last year at the PGA Championship, he got arrested.
Yeah, but
that's
Somebody said a year later
Yeah.
he's cleaned himself up.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole thing, and he got himself, worked back, and he got like being that prison, really changed his life.
he's hard. It hardened him. But even that, like the circumstance. Remember, they found the officer was overbearing and
That was awful.
yeah, like dude. So it was a collision. If we need to refresh our memory, and if I'm wrong, one of you pointed out, but it was a collision just outside the golf course. He was on his way.
Didn't involve him.
Didn't involve him. And the cop was holding everyone up, and he's like, "I need to go golf."
Yeah, he never said I am.
Yeah,
Like-
and the guy like gave him crap and didn't realize who Scotty Scheffler was, unless this cop was trying to get his or some kind of 10 minutes of fame or whatever, 15 minutes of it. And they found out he was in the wrong. The cop was, but yeah. And remember Scheffler like played that round and he went like birdie, birdie, birdie.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fell apart after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good start. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, highproductmarketing.com. Wheels with this quick question. This is to get Dusty in an uproar. He's playing or watching Tecmo, so he won't. Maybe you did hear the report that LeBron James might be returning to Cleveland, Ohio to become a Cleveland Cavalier.
Going on right now.
Just kidding. Cavs better than Lakers. There has been I know some people have thought about the idea of LeBron, one, just leaving the Lakers or going to Cleveland. Actually, the reason LeBron will not be leaving the Lakers, he's not leaving his son.
And it's
You
LA.
got your son to
Yeah.
come to you got the Lakers to draft your son. You're not bolting from Bronny.
Right.
Totally.
After
not
all
doing
of
that.
that this year.
It was all calculated going to LA.
Yeah, it was his post career was part of LA with entertainment and all of that.
Exactly.
And it's close enough to Vegas for when he gets that NBA team in Vegas.
And Bronny is ready to take over in Vegas as the first star of whatever NBA franchise they have.
He'll be the expansion draft pick
Is
for
that
the Lakers.
logical? Jazzy?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, I'm intrigued how they would do an expansion draft.
Yeah. Because remember, we were talking
know.
about this, like how many teams are in the West as opposed to the East. And
Well, but
We were
also
the-
like in the NHL to draft 30 players, one from each team, that's smart. That makes sense. There's 23 guys on your roster,
Yeah.
or 20 guys that on your game day roster. There's a few extra. You got your minor league system you need to start filling out.
Yep.
You got 12 in the NBA. You got a G League that you're going to jump on with a little bit, but like you have to draft from 30 teams then in it. Like I'm curious, or is that one of those drafts you see they'll only take from certain teams and other ones they'll pass because they don't like the list that they're seeing.
That could be.
Like I've never seen. I don't recall when was the last time the NBA did an expansion draft. Would have been Raptors Grizz.
That's 95.
wow.
Would have that been the last time? I think so.
Because ever since that expansion, all it's been is relocation,
I believe so.
right?
OKC,
Was
Grizzly,
Seattle.
Yes,
Charlotte. Oh no, Bobcats. Bobcats would be the most recent expansion.
They were
team.
expansion? Okay.
Yeah, because they went to the Hornets went from Charlotte to New Orleans, and then eventually Charlotte got the expansion team with the Bobcats, and then when the Hornets became the Pelicans, they just took the name Hornets back. Bobcats might have been the last expansion team, so I'd have to go see how theirs was. 2004 expansion.
Do you have a text you want to get to?
I actually was gonna tell you guys if you don't know this already, Ryan Reynolds is turning the Edmonton Oilers dynasty into a docuseries.
His production team is.
Yeah.
That's with my buddy Shane Fennessy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they've been working on that for a couple of years. I didn't know Ryan Reynolds got on board with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be ready for winter in 2027 on Super Channel.
That's cool. And Shane's excellent, and everything he's touched has been phenomenal. He works a lot with Scorgi. I don't know if Scorgi's involved with this one. I would assume he has something to do with it, but Ryan Reynolds back in is kind of neat too.
Yeah, it is. Again, brings like celebrity status to the NHL,
Yeah.
right?
Based on the selection, they selected 19 players from other teams. So I'm assuming if there's just one, it's you select who you want from whatever's available, one from the teams that are available. Can't take two, but there will be some teams that don't lose a player.
Okay.
Interesting. We're not far off from expansion in the NBA.
No, they're going to Vegas.
And they need to get to
And
Seattle.
Seattle.
They need to get to Seattle somehow too.
Well, part of the arena for the Kraken was to be ready for the NBA to come back.
And they need to get, you can't go one, you need to get to 32. Mm-hmm. And then I still wonder when baseball's going to expand because they need to get to 32.
Now they got to figure out Tampa. I mean, we have two teams playing in minor league ballparks this season, which is insane. I know circumstantial, obviously, with the hurricane in Tampa ripping the roof off of Tropicana Field, but
And the A's are headed to a stadium, like we know that.
And they have started construction in Vegas for that ballpark. But like, okay, watching those games being played in Sacramento, it looks okay. Like they've spruced it up the same way, you know, with the Blue Jays in Buffalo. Was it Salem Field in Buffalo? I've been to a game there. It was actually a good AAA park, and then they just pumped a bunch of money into it. But like watching the Rays play out of, was it Steinbrenner Field? That's the Yankees AAA or a single A ballpark.
You
but
respect that
spring
name.
training facility. But it's weird because where it's supposed to say Yankees says Tampa Bay, and when the Yankees played the Rays there, they were getting booed and this. It was just very bizarre, very, very bizarre. And then, yeah, I know that in Sacramento they had to redo the entire field. They had to do a bunch of renovations. So it's so weird. Like baseball is a license to print money. Then you have these owners who cry foul, but they're billionaires. They're making money hand over fist. They hold cities like hostage, like Oakland has been for the last decade. And finally, something gives out and they're going to Vegas. Vegas is reluctant to have the baseball team. They're like, yeah, I guess we're in a baseball team now. And we have a AAA team that does just fine in the suburbs. And yeah, sure, A's.
I hate baseball ownerships.
Because they're the worst.
They do make money. A lot of those small teams do make money. They just choose not to spend it. And I just saw an article yesterday where there's already rumblings with the Pirates trade Paul Skeens.
Come on.
But there was the article wrote that it's talking to people in the Pirates. They're committed to building around him.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we know for like based on history, there's a good chance that the Pirates would actually try to maybe trade him because why spend money on this guy and spend money on this team when you could have a lower salary team, lower payroll, and you still make money. You know, you don't have to commit as much money to your team, and you're still going to make money. And that's the way too many like the Pirates ownership's one of those that is just awful, and it's just like.
The motivation isn't winning; it's making money.
They don't want to play baseball. Like I go back to like
Seriously.
when the COVID and everyone's trying to figure things out. They could have started sooner, but it's like owners didn't want baseball to be played because they were going to save money. The baseball owners are the worst. Just lacrosse, they're just awful.
Sincerely,
they hate the sport.
Yeah.
Just sell your damn teams then.
Can we look at Play Alberta lines
For what?
for tonight?
Which game?
Carolina and Florida.
Hurricanes are the slight favorites, -139 on the money line. Over under set at 5.5. What do we have on Play Alberta? Edmonton Sports Talk proudly presented by Play Alberta. EST Specials. Dusty has the early bird bet boosted the Oilers to win this series, +165. So I think I saw +115 or something earlier today. If you go just bet on that on its own. What is that one? I could pull that up here quickly. Outrights. The Oilers to win their series is +150. So you got a little bit of an extra boost there, +165 on EST Specials. Also, Dusty's play of the day is Brad Marchand, 1+ points at +115. PlayAlberta.ca. Download the app. Again, you could use promo code 100Casino if you're depositing 20 more to get a $100 casino bonus, or 100 Sports is the promo code if you deposit 20 or more for a $100 free bet on sports. We do need to get to over under. Brought to you by Play Alberta. Time's ticking on this. So it's 2025. I'll say over under 2.5 expansions between the NHL, the NBA, and MLB by the end of this decade. Announced, not playing.
Oh, between the three of them, or three of them
Between the
each?
3 leagues, over 2.5 by the end of this decade, which is only like 5 more years.
Over
Yeah, over.
easily.
David Pegnot on Hello Hockey has a lot of expansion talk. And
So how many?
he-
How long? So when is the NHL like? So there'll be 2. It'll be Atlanta and someone else. But how soon do you think those will be announced?
Well, Dave's
said-
projecting 2030. We have a 36 team league.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a little bit rushed. They would have to, because now you're talking about 4 new expansions.
Yeah, it's insane.
It takes at least 2 years to get it off the ground, I would think. Or from, no, maybe yes, you only need a year.
You need arenas. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Stadiums
So that's
and
what's okay.
arenas.
But I said 2.5. So you guys are thinking it's all just going to be NHL?
I'm just saying.
No, you
and,
said-
and
so you-
NHL is already a
Well,
majority,
like,
I think.
yeah.
of
2.5.
those leagues.
For NBA and NHL
And MLB.
and MLB, yeah.
By the end of this decade, though.
Yeah.
So where's the over come from?
But so 2 NBA teams?
Just total out of all 3 leagues.
I don't know, 3? 4? 4.
Yeah.
So where they could, but which leagues?
NHL 100%.
Yeah, but how many are you
2.
saying? If you're going?
2. Yeah, and then NBA.
You think the NBA will expand 2 by the end of this decade? In 5 years, they'll announce that?
Jazzy's going to be going to NBA games in Vegas by 2030.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because
Bottle service
it is taking. You know,
Yeah.
time's ticking, and it's if nothing's announced this year, so it would have to be announced for 26 to play in 27. There's not a lot of time left in this decade.
That's
actually.
crazy,
That's
but
the
you're
part
right.
that I'm going like. I don't know if we see. That's where I'm not trying to dispute Pegnota's reporting or anything. I think the NHL is being ambitious if they think they get it done by 2030 and have 4 more teams. You're really diluting the talent pool. And like we've only seen 2 teams over the span of, what is it, 8 years? 7 years?
Yep.
To go another 4?
You want to talk
That's
about
a lot of expansion drafts
You
you're
want to
losing
talk
players
about
on.
greedy owners?
I know, but that's where I just think it's like 2030 is actually a lot closer than we think.
It
We're
is.
closer than
You're right.
2030 than we are 2020.
Yes.
And I don't know if I think MLB's they take their sweet time. I don't see an expansion coming in the MLB in the rest of this decade. I actually don't see the NBA getting it done right away. That's where it's like I actually feel like I might take the under on that. I think if I said in the next 10 years, yeah, it's an easy over. I think in
I'll
less than
stick-
5 years,
I'll stick
announce
with
them.
over.
And I'm going back to just announce. They don't have to play by then.
Yeah, I'm going to go over 100%.
Yeah, NHL is growing, Maddie. Like Will Arnett and Charles Barkley are going to be featured today on TNT with Biz.
Oh, yeah. I saw them doing something with Will Arnett, and they put goalie gear on him.
Yeah. See, they're trying to grow the game.
And TV numbers are down.
But revenues are up. This was a record-setting season after a record-setting season last year.
I know NBA numbers are down too. Their conference finals were down a little bit, but what did I see from the NHL? Playoff viewership is down 28% on ESPN platforms, with games averaging just 886,000 viewers. Stanley Cup playoff games are also down 19% on TST sport platforms this year. Part of that does come from back to original 6 teams of America aren't in it. Pittsburgh's not in it. There's a couple big markets that didn't make
Philly.
these playoffs. But when I see
Boston.
886, that's UFL numbers.
Ew. UFL gets that much?
They can.
Gross.
They've had some games on ABC that have hit 1 million this
Go
season.
away,
But
UFL.
they've also been in like, they could get, as the season's gone on, it's like sometimes a little closer to 500, but I'd say they're between 500 to 800,000.
Because CFL games average around 500 in Canada.
Which I love because they get about 500 in Canada. The UFL gets, I will give them the benefit of the doubt and say 800. People down south, actually, there are some that are like, hey, those are really good numbers. And in Canada, we don't praise the CFL enough for those numbers. When you think 800,000, let's say, of a population of just shy of 400 million people, of their potential viewers. 500,000 people
That's huge.
with 40 million as your pool. If you converted that of percent population that are watching CFL games to the population, those are big numbers in the States, but we never give the praise for that. CFL season coming up very soon, by the way.
Yeah, very, very soon, which
getting
is
closer
great.
and closer.
And and then you know this new CBS deal that was introduced last year for the CFL down in the US? Apparently, like 3 Down Nation does a thing every week of like the numbers. And they're getting like over 100, and I think sometimes like 150,000 viewers in the US on CBS. And like a couple of times when I did a few games last year, I had buddies in the US being like, why the hell am I seeing you on CBS right now? I'm like, I don't know.
I think there's supposed to be more games this year, potentially. They usually send out a schedule. Hopefully they send that out soon of what is on CBS.
Yeah.
There's also more games on CTV this year.
Great.
But apparently, I think I've heard, and Dusty would even know this a little better, simulcasted on TSN though this year.
That's smart because, yeah.
And I always fought for it should be on CTV, but it needs to be on TSN as well because some people just subscribe to TSN.
Yeah. That's like ESPN ABC.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and so here it's like put it on CTV, but anyone that wants to go to TSN, like some people don't know that it's on CTV and they'll go to TSN and be like, oh, the game's not on? What is this?
Yeah.
You need to have it on both.
That's true.
Reach more eyeballs with the CTV games, but have it still on TSN. Apparently they're doing that.
And they need more original content on the CTV channels because I can't watch any more The Rookie. Nor have I ever watched The Rookie. Yeah. I love Nathan Fillion on Good Edmonton guy. But like,
It's got the Edmontonian
let's
on it.
go. But,
Is there anything I watch
They've
on
already got
CTV?
offshoots of The
MasterChef.
Rookie.
I can't watch MasterChef. I can't watch American cooking shows.
What? They're my favorite thing.
Too conflict driven.
What do you mean?
I don't want conflict while watching these. I want to see how good these guys are baking. Like the Great British Bake Off.
Oh,
is
please. That
amazing.
show's so slow. I know a girl
Exactly.
that went on it.
Yeah, because I don't need the fake conflict. I just want to watch wholesome
love
content
that,
where
with the
I want to see
time.
how they cook. I want to see them build these amazing cakes or these amazing desserts.
It's the same thing.
It's
I said it.
They do different things, and then they do the one mystery challenge where they have to make something blind, basically. But it's about cooking. It's about baking. It's about
Wow.
how well can you do this, and not make this dish that takes you 2 hours, but do it in 30 minutes.
I love
And then when you
that.
do it terribly, they go, "You're crap."
I do.
Like what are we talking about here? This takes 2 hours, and you're making me do it in 30, and this is crap to you.
Wait.
And then there's these competitions
It shows
and
their
advantages.
intelligence and with flavors, recipes, pairings. Like it's unreal to see.
I don't need it to be rushed. Let
and they're
them
like,
cook.
it has to be a seafood dish. Like, and then they do those limitations.
Yeah,
it's quite brilliant.
Don't give them the time limit. Let them actually cook. Don't tie someone's
Boring.
hand behind the. Yeah, you're into the conflict. I'm not.
I love it in cooking.
I want to learn about cooking. I've learned some things on the Bake Off show about how people cook and like techniques.
The outcome.
That's awesome.
Okay, so if there's like 10 contestants, they all pull out like a great dish in like 30 minutes. It's just incredible to see. Like the plating, what they pair it with. And I understand they get criticized.
The
but
Great British Bake Off they're doing these things that are so elaborate. And you're like, this is amazing.
Top Chef is my favorite show after MasterChef. Top Chef is
Yeah, I say and they say it's not conflict driven, just great, and that's what I like. I like America everything doesn't need to be conflict. Everything doesn't need to be a competition in that sense where you have to have somebody hate someone else. Like, oh, you can't do this without these things because you screwed up in this other challenge. Nah, screw that. I just want to see how these people cook or bake.
That's too chill.
And whoever does the best, they move on, and whoever does the worst, they get cut. And it's not about I did the worst because I didn't have salt.
Yeah, it needs more salt.
No, I'm saying they didn't get salt because that could be a thing where it's like you don't get it cooked with salt, even though everything needs salt. They'll go be like,
baking is different.
Salt. You need, and we're going to take that away from you.
Put some meat in there.
That's
Okay.
why it's like I don't need that. Just let them cook. Let them plan things.
You know what? But baking is different than cooking. Cooking is way more interesting than baking.
It's all of it. I'm talking about all of it. Like
And you get tips.
It's the same as like Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. The UK version was so much better than the US version. The US version was just Ramsay yelling how they're crappy and they're crap and everything goes wrong. And then they have their dinner service. It goes terrible. But then we go to commercial break. And when they come back, they have an epiphany and it's all great. The UK one was just very wholesome. It was like, okay, you're not doing well at this. This needs to be better. This you're doing great at. It was just, okay. Like it wasn't fake conflict. America's the worst. Everything's fake.
Yeah, that's true.
Sports talk, hot takes, their cooking shows, their competition. It's all fake.
Yeah.
Just give me wholesome sometimes.
Yep.
Wow, you're popping off.
Yeah.
I like this. It just had to bring up
cooking
cooking
shows
shows.
are the
Way
worst
to go,
time
Jack.
ever.
The first time I ever saw the Great British Baking Show, I was like, this is just so wonderful. And then when the person
happy
got
music.
kicked off, they were all so sad. They're like, oh no. And then they hugged them. And I'm like, this is nice. It's
Okay.
wonderful. And this
Wow.
person they just didn't have a good week. So they got knocked off.
Okay.
But it's not like they didn't have a good week because they're not allowed to use their oven for more than 30 minutes because they lost a challenge and they only get 30 minutes of oven time. They lost because they screwed up.
Them's the rules.
I did. Yes.
Oh no, we're gonna.
No, I was gonna say the most toxic show, and Butski, I think, was the one who brought this up, is Hell's Kitchen. I do watch that, but that is toxic.
Yeah, like the way I watch that show, it makes me think like these people should never cook at a restaurant ever because everything they cook, Ramsey says, is trash. But at the end of it, somebody gets in a restaurant and they're an executive chef and they're supposed to be somebody I want to go eat from, even though the whole time Ramsey's crapping on them, telling them how terrible they are.
He's a character.
Does he even sleep? He has like 10 shows going on.
Yeah, exactly. I've never watched any of those shows, but I've seen like snippets and clips and the memes of Gordon Ramsay. Oh, Mark.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
All right.
Hello.
Are you sticking around? Or something like that.
CBC Mornings
stick around for
on
a
the
bit?
radio.
Okay, good.
93.9. Check out Mark Conley.
Yeah, he's retiring.
When did that get announced?
He announced it this week on his Instagram.
No way.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked
Oh,
if he's sticking around.
Congratulations, Mark.
Get him on here.
He's
With Dusty.
Yeah.
Okay. Gordon Ramsay. I'm just gonna say this. I like him, and I haven't watched any of the shows, but I did watch him create this one burger. He did a segment for, I don't know, it was like a YouTube video, and it was like a 4-minute video, and he made this amazing burger, and I was like, you know what, this guy, I kind of like him. And then
He's cooking.
Yeah.
He's just cooking.
But
Great.
the way he described, like, okay, this is what you want to do with the burger. You want to keep the juices in. Here's why you want to do this. And then the type of cheese you use. And he's like, okay, you want the bun, flip it over. I'm like, yeah, practical stuff like that. So I like him very much. But like, you're right. Like, does he sleep? I don't know. But it's all made for TV. I had another point about him and I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Great scrambled eggs YouTube
Yes.
video too. by the
Gordon
way.
Ramsay in the UK, his stuff is awesome. US is just way too much yelling and screaming and too scripted.
Yeah.
And yes, Castor, I like my Big Brother stuff, but that's not fake conflict. They actually don't like each other. They're in a house together.
In Big Brother.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's, and it's just my guilty pleasure. It's my trash TV. And I'll call it that. It's trash TV. And I'll watch the hell
No
out of it.
announcement,
Oh.
hey?
Yeah, there's
When is it?
July 10th or something.
I remember my thought.
There's
So
gonna
is
be
The Bachelor.
90-minute Wednesdays. Every Wednesday's
Okay.
90 minutes now.
Okay. Oh, Bachelor in Paradise.
Okay, the like cooking shows, high end cuisine. When the food comes, I know presentation's a big part of it.
Yes.
This is a confession. I know Confessions was earlier on Dusty's show, but I'll make a confession.
No, I'll have to go off on Trevor right away.
Whenever I've been lucky to go to a really nice restaurant and something comes out really fancily presented,
Yeah.
I get intimidated.
Do you?
Why?
Yep. I'm like, how do I take this apart? This is art.
What am I supposed to eat? What am I not supposed to eat? Type thing.
Well,
or do you
yeah,
think you can eat it all?
You could decipher, but it's like, I'm like, oh man, I just want to make a mess of this plate, but it's so well presented. I feel like I'm ruining someone's work, but the whole purpose is to devour this delicious meal.
Eat with your eyes.
As long as
Yeah.
you get that Insta pics and post it, because you can't eat without Insta.
Always.
Oh yeah, you have to.
My Insta is littered with food pics.
I don't know what Trev's doing with his confessions. I don't know if you guys heard it.
Yeah, the parking.
He parked in an empty parking lot, thought he didn't have to pay because it's empty.
Yeah,
and he
that's
got a
not how it
ticket.
works.
No,
$3.
just have I not paid for parking? 100%.
Same.
Have I gotten tickets for that? Absolutely. Do I pay those tickets? Depends who gives me that ticket.
Amen.
If it's the city of Edmonton, yes, I pay that ticket. If it's the University of Alberta, no, because I've never gone there. And then what are they going to do?
If
Withhold
it's
my
in park,
marks?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's one like if I get that ticket, it's like, yeah, no, I screwed up. And like you can't make it's empty.
That doesn't matter.
You're
It's not
using
your
their
property.
service.
Yeah.
And it's the same as like, to me, as I was thinking driving in, if you see a golf course empty, it doesn't mean you got to go golf for free.
Yeah.
You still got to go pay your your rate fee, green fee.
Yeah.
Because you're using their land. If it's empty, that's okay. I still have to go pay for this service. It's theirs. It's not mine.
Yeah.
And you're going for an hour and a half.
That's
risky.
That's
That's
the
risky.
thing. If it was a quick in and out, whatever, right? 10 minutes max, perhaps. But like,
Yeah.
you're
And
not
even
going to
that-
go sitting there.
You
and-
still might get a ticket.
You still might, but that's
You got to
a
be
risk.
risky on that.
Yeah, you can't get mad about it.
No.
But an hour and a half? Are you kidding me?
Or just drive around a little bit and see if there's free parking somewhere else.
Yeah,
Sometimes
don't be
make the
lazy.
walk.
This isn't Pincher Creek.
Trev doesn't. There's no sympathy I have for Trev on that one.
Yeah.
You got caught, and the price being $100. Yeah, that makes you might say it's a little harsh, but it's hopefully going to stop you from doing that again.
Yeah.
That's what they try to do.
He pled not guilty
No,
to,
he pled
to the
innocent.
judge. Yeah.
He didn't say not guilty.
He said innocent. Yeah. Well, that adorable. Anyway, yeah. You're
Yeah,
not
if
gonna
you're
win
in
that
Montenegro,
battle.
empty movie theater,
Free.
Exactly. I'd go to movies every night at the Landmark Cinema because there's never ever anyone
No,
there.
I
I'd
know.
get free movies every night because, well, no one's here. I'm allowed.
Yeah. I walked right in.
No one's using these seats. I'm taking them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very
Flawed argument.
extremely flawed argument.
Yeah.
And your ticket's a ticket. You want part of it is if it was $50, if it was $20, you'd keep parking illegally. They're trying to stop that.
Yeah, that was
Clearly they will because he says I'm going to walk now.
That
Okay,
one.
well they succeeded. The $100, $105 ticket or whatever is succeeded. Did its
Thing
job.
is free.
That one was dead on arrival, that argument. No. Bueno.
I will agree with this one from Tango, but I also understand why they do it. I think having to pay for parking is stupid, especially at a hospital.
Yeah.
I get that for a hospital, but they also don't want somebody taking advantage of just parking in a hospital that works nearby. Or
and
something.
you know
They
there's
need to-
shitty people that will do
100%.
that.
They need to keep it open so that people that do need the hospital
Yeah.
or go visit someone aren't missing out on parking stalls because someone's abusing it or taking advantage of it.
Yes.
There's
There
just,
has to be a way to fix that.
there's
though.
just there's
You know,
always
there's apps and like
there's terrible people in this world.
License
There's always
plate
look to take
numbers.
advantage
Yeah.
though, and they'll find the advantage and they'll do it.
We'll go check in and then they validate.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is true.
It's I saw a TikTok yesterday of just somebody was, I think it was probably a Target. They walked by a kids aisle and there was these two grown men just sitting there. One had a chair because they're waiting for them to bring out the next shipment of Pokemon cards so they can grab
Oh my
them first and take them. And it's like, well, people can't even have a hobby of collecting Pokemon cards without some scalpers
Yeah.
taking them all.
That's
so
right.
they could go profit off it. People always just ruin it. They ruin things.
Yeah. Hard to give people the benefit of the doubt because there's always someone that's going to ruin it for everyone.
It's true.
Sad.
It is. It's really sad.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. By Canadian, find a convenient location nearest you. Sentinel.ca. Once again, the May savings in full bloom. 50% off 12 weeks on all units. 75% off 8 weeks on 5x5 units. 4 weeks free on selected units. Before I get to that, Lock Shop coming up at 11. We've got two guys and a goalie. EST afternoons. Reed Wilkins show. Stingers action later tonight as well at 7:30. We also got the Turf District coming up at 6 o'clock tonight on our audio streams.
Excellent.
So a lot coming. And a reminder tomorrow, GCLD's old stream pre and post game shows live. Hudson's, West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street. Tommy and Hernan there.
Baggio, you made me laugh with this one. Very simple and to the point. You broke the law, Trevor. The law.
Well, in a city, if you are ticketed by the city of Edmonton, you broke a bylaw.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a law.
Yeah.
If you did it in an M Park or a Diamond,
Well, that's trespassing technically.
it's trespassing, but you're not
Yeah.
getting a ticket for trespassing.
Right.
The city's not giving you that ticket. They're giving you a ticket, which is, there's questions around that one.
There's a bit of ambiguity there.
Yeah, I've the U of A one's a fun one because my dad and I always used to joke like, obviously if you get enough, they'll tow you.
Sure.
So you got to be worried about that.
Yeah.
But there was always joke like, oh, they're going to withhold my marks because that's the other thing they can do.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And when my dad retired, he actually needed something, his transcripts from the U of A.
Yeah.
And when he went to go get them, he had an unpaid parking and he forgot about it.
That's
and he
hilarious.
called me and let me know. He's like, I actually did need my marks. I've never gone to the U of A, even though I am an alum. So at this moment, they're not going to withhold my marks.
That one's ambiguous too, but yes, you got have the jacket.
I was given to it by Chris Morris
Yes.
when he was with the Golden Bears.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I go to go hockey games.
Wear your jacket.
Yeah, you can't. I'm an alum.
U of A football. What did that guy play? I used the punter. Big leg.
Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was gonna, kill the mood. Say
With
Jim
what?
Irsay died at 65, owner of the Colts.
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
I know he had some health issues, and there was a game I think last year where he didn't look healthy.
I think he had a drug problem.
There was that too.
He also was arrested for drinking and driving a little while back too.
He was found unresponsive.
Or
I think
intoxicated.
sometime last year, and it was a drug overdose or so.
Yes, that's right.
But he also I wonder if it's also one that got into that because of pain, because I know he's had some health issues, I believe, in the past as well. I thought.
Right. So young, 65. I mean, you're an owner of the Colts. We're talking about money earlier with NBA players and honey buns. Like, sad. And I'm a Colts fan, so.
Get me my honey buns.
He also, yeah.
Big Q, does that work?
What a big uke. He's got a workaround.
I liked using an empty Visa gift card because the machines don't know until they do the number dump at the end of the month that it doesn't actually have money.
I heard of that. I don't know if that, like, back in the day.
Did that work? Can it still work?
I don't know.
I guess, yeah, if it's online, it wouldn't because they'd be able to do it right away. But creative. I'll show that one. I know what Nate, some people used to do by the, what is it? The V-Wing or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They would you could just like write it. No, machine's broken.
Yep.
Couldn't pay. And you throw it on your dashboard and the parking people would be, oh, the machine must be broken. And then they'd walk away.
That one was the worst. I know people, I mean, they want to make money. It's their land. They created those, they built parking garages on purpose. But I remember being a student there and being like, you dicks.
Yeah, you're already getting the tuition.
Yeah.
You know what the
Let
worst?
me park.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to school.
Yeah.
And for the school that I've given you money for. Let me just go park.
Please.
The worst is when there's no parking spot and you're like trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
They're just like, at McEwen happened all the time.
I don't know if
And
this.
BCIT.
Oh, yeah. Of course you went to BCIT. I don't know if this is still the case at the parking garage at Nate, but the one by the business center, but you'd go up to like the second level, second from the top, like tuck yourself in a corner and you wouldn't be sure because people wouldn't want to walk that high on a cold day. You park there and you're like, it should be all right. Usually worked okay.
I heard about that.
I did that a bunch.
Yeah.
Like quite a bit.
I just parked. There's that cemetery by the Yellowhead.
Yep.
I just parked right next to it.
And that was
And
it.
it was like a 15-minute walk, and that was it. Got my steps.
a good way
Never
to do it.
ticketed.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was like there was nothing that said I couldn't park there. So
No, it's just a side street.
minus 40 days with snowfall sucked. But
You know what was great? Going up to the second last level of the parking garage by the business center. Parking
while you're right there. I heard about all those parking
Oh, yeah. I
garages.
found all the tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheldon, worst going to Nate, unable to park at the huge empty Kingsway Mall lot.
I got busted by one of those.
Me too.
They're
Knobs.
always patrolling.
Yeah.
Kingsway, they're missing out. They should like sell some parking spots.
Yeah. I'd always go in for like a coffee
Although
after that.
that Walmart parking lot now is pretty full.
Yeah.
The one right outside the Walmart. That's
That
right
lot
across-
is because before it was
Yeah.
Sears.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I worked at that one. It wasn't that parking lot was never that full.
Yeah.
Now with Walmart, it's pretty full.
I got a
'Cause
warning.
It's also the only entrance into Walmart. Before Sears had the 3 entrances in.
At Kingsway?
Yeah.
Yeah, a security guy caught me with my backpack on, leaving my car, and he's like, "Hey, you go here?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're not supposed to park here," and I played dumb. I was like, "Oh, I had no clue. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Kingsway. My mom used to have a coffee shop there, and our hubcaps got stolen. So if
Yeah.
you're patrolling, and like that place now around Kingsway is just garbage. Garbage area.
There's some rough areas.
Yeah.
Rough.
I know you're gonna wrap it up here. I might come tomorrow.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
I might.
Maybe showing up.
I just want you to know I
Very
might come.
borderline
Yeah.
commit.
I know it
commitment.
is, but it's Friday, and maybe
Friday.
I can Friday and enjoy the whole game with the Nasties
It'll be fun.
because it was so much fun last time.
We always have a good time.
Yeah, always. And Oilers are gonna rip it tomorrow. Watch.
Big Uke and Rob from the Grove squeezed into boys' medium shirts yesterday because they won.
Wear what you win.
What?
Wear what you
You
win.
gotta wear what you win.
I need to see a picture.
Yeah.
Eric has a picture
Okay.
on his Twitter. As I said, coming up next here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. We do got the lock shop. We've got 2 guys and a goalie. We got EST afternoons. We got the Reed Welkin show with Jay Milton. 6 o'clock, the Turf District. 7:30, Stingers action out in Saskatchewan, taking on the Rattlers. I don't know if anyone saw their last game against Saskatchewan. They were down by like 24 points or
Yeah.
something. Almost had the comeback. Got within 2, in target score.
Target score is
Almost
awesome.
had an amazing comeback, but fell just short, looking for their first win of the season. We've got that on our audio streams right here on Edmonton Sports Talk on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or Apple Music. On behalf of Tommy, Jasmine, and Benny, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. As I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanek, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.